Good afternoon, morning, evening, everybody, whatever time of day that you are listening to us. This is Open Agenda, where we have respectful dialogue with the facts. So I'm Tracy.
Hello, Tracy. I'm Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. We have a
We're,
great show today, right?
we do. We have some really interesting information to share today.
So, preparing for this special edition of OpenAgenda.wtf, I did what probably a lot of you do, and I went to my AI agents, which I use quite a few of them because I have an AI business. One of my businesses is called justai.media, and I teach people how to use artificial intelligence and to use it responsibly. A lot of times when I am doing these research items, I will use the same prompt and go to different AI agents, ask them the same questions, and get totally different answers. So you can see that there is bias one way or another. That is, I think, real interesting. But I found a lot of interesting things that I think that we're going to be touching on next week when we have our video, and that's how the government shutdown is affecting Colorado. And I do believe that, well, we'll just see if it's still shut down and where we're at that point in time. But we're not going to touch on that today. Today, we are looking at more of the budget, what's happening with the Colorado budget. And so, with Perplexity, it told me that Colorado is currently facing a significant budget deficit of about $1 billion for the fiscal year, for the current fiscal year. The current fiscal year started July 1st. So they have a deficit of $1 billion. Colorado does. We do. If you're in Colorado, we have a deficit of that much. And Perplexity did say that most of the severe gaps are because of the one big beautiful bill that was passed. And within that one big beautiful bill, there, of course, were tax privileges given to citizens of the United States where you didn't have tax on tips. And what else was there, Lynn?
No tax on a certain amount of overtime, and tax breaks that were being continued that were once temporary and now being made permanent.
So the situation, it says, has forced lawmakers to consider program cuts, close tax breaks for businesses, and potentially draw down state reserve funds to fill the gap. So, with that being said, it seems that the federal government is trying to help us as citizens of the United States, but because Colorado has such a big deficit of $1 billion or more, they want to scrape that money back from citizens of Colorado. And I'm not okay with that. If you are, fine, but I work pretty hard to get myself in order where I don't depend upon the government, because I believe when you start depending upon the government to take care of you, they have control and you lose your freedoms.
Absolutely.
And so right now, Lynn did a lot of amazing research that I would like for her to share with you. It is very, very interesting. So get your popcorn and your favorite beverage, and we'll turn it over to Lynn. Thank you, dear.
Oh my gosh. Interesting diving into the amount of money that the government finagles and moves around and appropriates. The figures I am going to talk about today are for fiscal year last year, from July 24 to June of 25. And the state's general fund for last year was $17.7 billion. This is called Colorado's general fund. If you want to know all of the money that Colorado works with, we also include federal funds, cash funds, and that brings our state budget up to somewhere around 40 to 46 billion dollars.
Wow.
these are all state level expenditures. And of course, as Coloradoans, we also pay taxes that go to the federal government and our local communities.
Right.
The state budget and the general fund, which was again 17.7 million last year, of the top categories that those expenditures show up in, healthcare is over 33%. And the second category is K through 12 education. So between those two things, that's more than 2/3 of Colorado's state budget.
Mm.
The third item is human services or higher education. Those two are kind of tied. That gets us up to about 80%. What's interesting is, of course, healthcare covers Medicaid, it covers senior care, it covers the whole gamut of things, but also in K through 12, there are funds appropriated to Medicaid, mental health, and those sorts of things as well. It's really phenomenal the amount of money that we have and the amount of money that is collected. You know, I did create a little graph.
We'll put it on the website. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So what's interesting is when you were talking about the 1 billion deficit that Colorado is now facing, a huge part of that is based on an audit that was done for 24 and 25 regarding our Medicaid payments and payments that were made to Social Security recipients that are dead.
What?
So that is a whole rabbit hole of when Trump came into office. Go ahead.
Who gets the money? I mean, if they're dead, then is that money just staying in Colorado, or is it being paid out to fictitious people? Or I don't get
Right.
it.
Who's getting it? Where is it going? These audits are required to be done every year. It's called a PERM audit, PERM. That stands for Payment Error Rate Measurement. And that is the audit that they finished in June, showing that Colorado owes around $600 million back to the federal government for paying people that are deceased. So, what questions do you come up with when you think of that? Like, what is the system for reporting people that die? And why does it take so long? Why aren't these systems integrated with one another? What is going on with that? That's my big question. What's the
Do
process?
you have answers?
I don't have too many answers. It's something I'm working on.
Yeah. I think
You
we
know,
need an update on that. Yeah.
yeah, I think we do. We need to come back and figure out, are they doing something? I believe my information says yes, we're working on making those processes work better. What's interesting is my mom passed away a while back, and she got her Social Security check after she passed away, but it didn't take them long to come back and retract it. But how would it feel for someone who maybe a family member didn't realize it was a Social Security money and they used it for paying for the funeral or something and found out they had to pay that 15, 18, $2,000, however much it was, have to pay it back now.
I have a question. So
Mm-hmm.
with that, when your mother passed away, the death certificate, no doubt, was in Larimer County.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a problem of getting information from the different counties around Colorado into the official government of Colorado, the Social
Right.
Security Administration? And if that's the case, then let's focus on that and fix it in this electronic age. You would think that these systems could talk to each other a little bit better.
I think we'd have to go all the way back to who is the initial person responsible for reporting it? Is it the funeral home? Is it the Larimer County coroner? So that'll be a fun thing to do some research on. We'll
That'll
figure it
be
out.
really, very much.
The other thing that was interesting about that whole process was Colorado came back and said, we're not paying that money back because we don't think the the way that you did the survey study was accurate. We don't think it's a good audit methodology. That methodology or that perm audit has been done that way for over 20 years.
Maybe they need to update it.
It seems like in this day and age of technology, it certainly shouldn't be that difficult to Social Security can certainly find you. The IRS can find you if you owe them money, right?
Yes.
So there's just something that doesn't quite
Yeah.
smooth out.
It doesn't work when it has to, almost, So interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's really fascinating just getting into these rabbit trails and rabbit holes about where things are. It is so complex. I'm having a lot of fun just trying to figure it out.
Well, and it's learning,
Yeah.
at least for me. And you can never know too much. I love to learn. It keeps your mind active. And we both have a very integral, what do I want to say? We love Colorado. Our
Right.
roots are here.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so we want to pay attention and we want to join with other people who want to pay attention to what is going on in Colorado so that we can all love where we live and not get our roots rippled.
Right.
So,
Totally. And just really encourage everyone, do your research. If a question comes up in your mind, ask it, Google it, figure out where the roots are.
yeah, it's very interesting. In fact, I might put some information on our website at OpenAgenda.wtf, which will help people understand which agent you should talk to about certain things
Mhm.
because they're programmed differently. They have gotten different information off of the internet. And that in itself is just fascinating. And right now, I'm looking at what Copilot told me about this budget crisis in Colorado. And again, it says that it faces nearly $1 billion shortfall, which we got from Perplexity. But it gave me more information stating that local governments are cutting services and staff. Denver and Boulder County are laying off workers. Summit County is battling a $5 million deficit, and counties are dipping into reserves to fund food aid. Governor Polis's budget proposal for 26-27 prioritizes education and public safety, but includes painful trade-offs like slowing Medicaid growth and reducing the general fund reserve from 15% to 13%. That's pretty dangerous, I think, if we're reducing our reserve. I don't think that should be dipped into. But again, we're getting back to it's education and it's Medicaid and SNAP benefits, food. These are
Mhm.
all things that keep coming up, not only for Colorado, I think, but for our nation. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Very interesting. So, yes, I could have a full-time job just doing research about Colorado and not necessarily all about the budget.
Right.
let's let's do some fun things too, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Let's do.
Yeah. So, good
Well,
information, Lynn. Yes.
thank you. Well, I think we've got some great topics to keep pursuing. It is going to be really interesting to see what's going on with the government and the shutdown. I think that one of the things that I appreciate about the current federal administration is that agenda of America first. And I think that's important in Colorado too. Coloradoans first. And that means protecting our jobs, protecting our border, protecting our freedom of speech. We're probably not going to too likely to get into a war in Colorado, but we could certainly be affected by one if something like that were to happen. We just encourage you to keep paying attention, stay connected. Please like our videos, subscribe to our videos. Let us know if there's something we can research for you.
I was just going to say that. Yes. We're at your service.
Absolutely.
So what do we say now, Lynn? What's our closing statement?
We gotta keep paying attention or somebody else is gonna write the rules.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time, and let us know what you think about our subjects today, and we can go in further and maybe even make a longer video. If you would like that, just let us know.
Absolutely. Please subscribe. We love you.
Love you.